Hello, Antiochian men. I've got Bryce Kirk with me, and we're about to take another road trip to another church. We're in Fayetteville, Arkansas. It's a rainy, soggy day, and we're headed to Memphis, Tennessee, and after that to Tupelo, Mississippi. So why don't you come along with us? We made it to St. John Orthodox Church in Memphis, and we're going to show you what it looks like inside. Come on with us.
Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked. Alleluia. Rejoice in him with trembling. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia.
Blessed are all who take refuge in him. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia.
Arise, arise, O Lord, save me, O my God. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia.
Salvation belongs to the Lord. Thy blessing be upon thy people.
Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia. Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit.
And ever unto the ages of ages. Amen.
Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia. Glory to thee, O God. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia. Glory to thee, O God. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia. Glory to thee, O God. Glory to thee. Thy divine and blameless soul, O Demetrius, of ever constant memory, hath heavenly Jerusalem for its abode, whose walls were ordained by the hands of the invisible God. But thine all-honored body, having struggled exceedingly, hath unearthed this renowned temple, a treasure house of miracles that cannot be robbed, a healing for afflictions, to which the afflicted flock receives healing.
Now we can talk about Amen. As Father said, Michael is here and Bryce is here. Michael is the president of Amen, and Bryce is the director of social media, and they're doing a great job propagating the goals of Amen. Do you want to distribute the brochure? They came up with a brochure that I love, and they've been distributing that to all the men in the diocese. They've been traveling to every church. The spiritual advisor for the group, Father Hans Jacobsi, created a website for Amen. It's called AntiochianMen.org. And it's amazing. It has videos in there that come from the Antiochian Men YouTube channel. We have our own channel. We have something called Band. Have you heard of Band? It's an app on the phone, and men from the diocese subscribe to it, and there are prayer requests in there. There are discussions by men of the diocese to talk about Orthodox issues and things like that. All of that is in the back of the brochure. Please download Band. You can scan the barcode on the back of the brochure to go to those various sites, or to download Band, or we're a very high-tech diocese. No other diocese is like us. And at the bishop's meeting, I talked about our activities in the diocese, and we are the most active diocese in the archdiocese. We have at least one diocesan event every quarter. Amen has more. There is a monthly Bible study that I asked Father Stephen DeYoung to lead. They suggested him, and I said, absolutely, he's great. We have a fall retreat online. It happened last Sunday. That was the first one. But every month we have the Bible study. And by the way, we are the only diocese that has the organization that you can know as well.
So the Bible study is really exciting. We've already had two. Father Stephen DeYoung has a podcast with Ancient Faith Radio, which is the Whole Counsel of God podcast, which is a Bible study that had started when he was on the East Coast. And he just recorded his Bible studies at the church where he was and put it on the church website. A viral thing happened where people were going to that church website just to hear his Bible studies because they were so good. He's a brilliant theologian. He just finished his PhD work. And the context that he gives, the historical context for the Bible studies, is very deep. I think you would agree it's very, not just edifying, educational. But we're using the good parts of technology to connect our churches together. We have 40 churches in our diocese, about 40 churches. And anyone from our diocese, and even there's been some from outside the diocese that have wanted to log in to participate in these Bible studies. So we encourage everyone to do events like this in your local parish and to build your own brotherhood, especially first. Your local parish is the priority. But we also want to have these events that are easier for people to attend from wherever you are, using a smartphone, using an iPad, a computer. The virtual retreat we had last Sunday was the first, God willing, of many to come. It was using Zoom as well. People could log in, ask questions. It was interactive. And every time we do those kinds of events, we do record that session and we post it on our YouTube channel for those that couldn't attend live. But we really want people to participate live because, you know, the physical in-person retreats are great. We want as much participation as we can, but we know we can't have 100% attendance at those. This just makes it easier using technology in the same way we do in the business world, using Zoom meetings, virtual video conferences. We want to do that with ministry. And so, thanks to Sayedna for the vision, because we can do so much more in our diocese using technology, and that's what we're really focused on. I'm glad you mentioned the YAM. It's also referred to now as YAF, Young Adult Fellowship. And I wanted to just add that the young men especially need our help. And some young men are here with us. Our young, especially young adults, are the most affected by American culture in a negative way, with the way technology, unfortunately, has increased temptations, has offered many distractions. While we're using technology, we're trying to be very focused with how we use it. That's why we're not on Facebook. We use Band, which is a very focused, with less distractions. It's an app where it's only Orthodox interaction. I want to mention the young adults because we have to be mentors to those young adults. Bishop Nicholas shared with us earlier this year when he visited, 6 in 10 young men when they go off to college do not return to the church. And that is a very disturbing statistic. The young adults need our help, and especially the young men, because men are in a crisis in this culture. And so we have to be mentors to those young men. I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, I think, kind of tying into what Michael had said, we need mentors. I'm 23 years old, and my dad lives in North Carolina. I don't understand, I live in Arkansas. And having a connection like this is essential, not only for me, I'm a convert, but guys coming up who have grown up in the church or who are converting to the church, they need something. And Antiochian Men has done a fantastic job so far, I would say, of really getting there. But I say with the YouTube channel as well is we'll record these events like the virtual retreat or the Bible study. You can go back and watch. I work Thursday nights, so I can't be a part of most of these events, but I'll go back and watch the videos, and I find them very edifying. It's nice to just be connected to people. And there really is brotherhood there, especially with discussions in band as well. Like, we've got a lot of prayer requests lately. I mean, even for myself, and it's guys from Florida, guys from Carolina, guys from Tennessee, Mississippi, everybody's chiming in, and it's just, it's a good feeling. It's a joyful feeling to have, so it's all good.
If you don't know how to use YouTube, all of these videos show up on the website. So you don't have to go to YouTube. Everything is concentrated in the website.
I just wanted to, first of all, thank Father Philip for extending the invitation for us to come. Bryce and I feel very blessed to be with you all, and especially with Sayedna, your blessing to be here and being here as well with us is wonderful. What was brought up about the fact that there are no Orthodox hospitals, monasteries, schools. I think part of the problem, I actually spoke recently to Father Josiah Trenum. I was in Los Angeles on business and met with him, and he voiced the same concern about the fact that you look around and our Protestant friends and Catholics have their own universities, hospitals, we don't. I think one of the reasons, and this is just my opinion, is because, first of all, with the men in our church, especially in our archdiocese, there's been a void for so long. I feel personally that the men have been underserved. I've been in the church my whole life. I was baptized as an infant. My parents converted. But I've never known an Antiochian Men organization to exist. It hasn't existed. And as Father Hans has said over and over again, the church is built on strong men. And we need to be in communion with others, with all of us together. I think part of the reason why we don't have universities and monasteries is we've lacked the vision because we haven't been organized. The men haven't put monasteries as an example, as a priority. We're going to get there, God willing. I know it will happen because I know that this organization is special and unique because the need is there, it's everywhere. Bryce and I have visited so many churches already in just the first few months of our existence. And every single man that we talk to tells us pretty much the same story about what they feel, especially for the next generation that's coming up, and how helpless they feel with American culture, the way it's robbing the innocence of our youth. And there's no excuse for us not taking action and pushing back against it. We've just lacked organization. We've lacked the community in a larger diocese and archdiocese sense, but we're finally, thank God, on the path to get there. This is the first step. I see a day, again, God willing, that we do have our own universities and hospitals and monasteries, but my whole life has been we're just talking about it. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if we had a Notre Dame university that was an Orthodox university, not Catholic? I've been to so many fellowship events with men where we talk and we lament about the things we don't have. We have to create it, because the male creative force that can be diverted off course by the devil, I know it's happened to me, when it is channeled in the right direction, it's incredible what can be achieved. And we really have no excuse, because the Orthodox community in this country does have a lot of money. We can get to the point where we have monasteries, hopefully in my lifetime. Even if not, it's a relay race. And my generation, Bryce's generation, we all have a part in it to get us there. Whether or not it happens in our lifetime doesn't matter to me. It'll happen in God's time. What's wonderful about this is working with the wonderful clergy we have, Father Philip included, Sayed, of course, who has the vision to get us there. We have to do our part, because the laity has to be active. It's not just up to the clergy. It's laity, clergy, and the monastics. The laity now finally has, at least on the men's side, that void is being filled. And what I see is a wonderful beginning to something that will get us to that goal. But we can't get so discouraged and lament about what we don't have. We just need to take it one step at a time. So thank you, Sayedna, for your blessing and the chance to speak today. And it's wonderful being here.
We're here with Deacon Tim Mashburn from St. John Orthodox Church here in Memphis. Deacon Tim, thanks for showing us your beautiful sanctuary.
Sure.
Tell us, how long have you been in this church, and maybe just a quick brief history of this parish?
Well, the parish started as a very small house church in the neighborhood. We actually purposed to buy houses in a neighborhood where most of the community could live within walking distance and experience a daily Christian community, and not just see each other on Sundays. But at that time, we didn't own a building. I mean, at that time, we may have had 28 or 30 members. We met in living rooms. We had worship in living rooms. This was before we were canonically Orthodox. So we were a non-denominational house church at that time. In 1987 was when we, along with 20 some odd other congregations around the country, were brought in to the Orthodox Church canonically by Metropolitan Philip and Bishop Pontoon. And we actually, I think there might have been, I may be wrong on the number, there might have been 42 of us at that time, who actually went to the Antiochian Orthodox Church in Vicksburg, Mississippi, along with the similar parish with our sister parish in Jackson, Mississippi. We all met in Vicksburg, were chrismated and ordained in the Vicksburg parish in March of 1987.
Wow.
At that time, we still didn't have a building. We still came back here. We were still meeting in people's homes at that time. But within about a year, we were offered we had a very good friend who was an Episcopal priest who had access to the Episcopal bathhouse at the University of Memphis, which was a chapel.
Okay.
And so he offered us the use of the chapel on the weekends.
Okay.
So we would go there and set up iconostas and the altar for Saturday night and Sunday morning, and had worship over there for about 2 years until we found this building, which was a Presbyterian church in the midst of the neighborhood where we had bought houses years before. That was already our kind of walking distance community. It was a little more than we felt like we could bite off at the time, but God really moved in a way that allowed us to, the presbytery was very favorable to figuring out a way for us to get the building, and we were able to buy it with a small number of people, but we bought this building, and we bought the duplex, which was next door, which is now where our new fellowship hall is.
And
that was in around 1990, 91.
Okay. I was going to say I'm familiar with Father Peter Gilquist,
yeah,
which I believe he was one of the leaders of the Evangelical Orthodox
that's right.
Church.
So part of that period, the pre-Orthodox, pre-canonically Orthodox period that we had was as part of the Evangelical Orthodox Church, which Father Peter was one of the 7 originators, 6 or 7.
And he was here, right?
And he was here in Memphis in the very early days. Actually, by the time we became the Evangelical Orthodox Church, he was in California.
Oh, I see.
And all of the top 6 leaders were in California at that time. But he had been here previously, and a lot of the house activities that occurred, even before we had moved in, the part I described about moving in this neighborhood, even before that, Father Peter was in town doing a house ministry.
Wow.
And then he spent some time at Grand Junction, which is about an hour outside of town, in a very small town outside of Memphis.
Right.
And then he moved to California after that. So yes, we have some deep roots with Father Peter here in this community.
Well, and I'm familiar with the story, and honestly, it's such a moving story. The story of how all the churches came in together.
Right.
When Metropolitan Philip did welcome in all those churches, it was a beautiful story. I heard him tell it once on a podcast on Ancient Faith Radio.
Right.
And ever since I heard that, I couldn't wait to come and see this church because
Right.
I knew that this is where he kind of was. And
Yeah,
where things had
of
come
course, his
from.
book, Becoming Orthodox, is kind of like
Yeah.
the story of how we all became Orthodox, and it really kind of tells the trail that we were on for those years.
We can't help but notice the beautiful iconography in this church building, and the sanctuary especially. Is there anything you can share about? Has it been done over time?
It's been done over time,
Okay.
and the most of it is by the most recent, and the largest portion of it is by a Russian iconographer. But we had some done prior to that, and so we started, with what we could do at the time, and then we gradually added to it. But most of what you see on the walls is by Dmitry, who traveled from
That's true.
Russia to do most of this. And he actually painted these in Russia, and they're on canvas.
I see.
Shipped them here, and then he came here for the installation.
That's wonderful.
And even those were done over periods of time. He's made a number of trips to do that.
You can really feel like you're surrounded by the cloud of witnesses.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And it's amazing if you could see the sanctuary before it was Orthodox. There were some big stained glass windows on the sides here, and then there was a huge pipeline in the middle.
Oh, really?
And so we kind of gutted, and then there were the choir actually. There was a choir loft in there.
I see.
And there was actually a wall. I mean, it was not that deep. But actually, it's not that deep at the time. There was a wall about halfway in the middle of it, and there were story rooms on the other side.
I see.
So we actually, tore all of it out. I mean, it was totally different from what it did when it was Presbyterian. But it was almost like it was waiting to be made.
Yeah, I was going to say, it has that
like
beautiful. That's beautiful. Instead of an icon of the story in the building.
Yes. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Well, I appreciate you sharing a brief history, a condensed version of the history of this church. We know it has deep roots, and it's a blessing to be here and to be about to be in Vespers with you. It's just
We're glad to have you here, and just thrilled to have the bishop here this weekend.
Yeah.
Celebrating with us, and look forward to seeing more of it.
Excellent.
Hello, Antiochian men. We're back with Deacon Tim. He's given us a brief tour of the sanctuary here at St. John in Memphis, Tennessee. And we just wanted to talk to Deacon Tim about the upcoming Parish Life Conference. We have the PLC in 2020, and we thought we would sit down. And Bryce, I think you were going to start off this interview, so why don't you get us started?
Yeah, that's right. Well, first of all, thank you again. Sure thing. So we understand that the PLC is going to be here in Memphis next summer. What's going into kind of getting that started, and what are we supposed to be looking for?
Well, we've hosted a couple of PLCs before. The last time will have been probably 11 years since it was here. It's either 10 or 11, something like that. And so we almost choked when we realized we were assigned to have it again in 2020. But Father Philip didn't let any time go by before he asked me and another one of our parishioners, Melissa White, to co-chair the effort. You know, it's been a lot of fun so far. First thing we did was make contact with the people in Raleigh who were having the 2019 conference. Of course, you all were in Raleigh, and you know how well that went. But we were in close contact with them before the PLC in Raleigh, and then really sent a reconnaissance team there, not just to go to the conference, but to also help learn from all of the things that they were doing and did, so that we could borrow from their experience, and they've been immensely helpful. You know, the first thing we needed to do was secure a location, and so time-wise, I mean, we had a lot of time at that point, but we did need to go ahead and nail down the hotel contract, and so we set about that first. And as it turns out, we're going to have the conference in the same hotel where we had it 11 years ago, which is the Hilton Hotel. But the difference is it has very recently, I mean, literally within the last 6 months, and maybe even putting the finishing touches on it now, gone through an $11 million renovation. So all the guest rooms will be totally renovated, new carpet and furnishings, and the meeting space, the lobby. It's going to feel like a new hotel from the people who've seen it before. So anyway, we've got a great team. The other thing that we were quick to do was to go ahead and identify committee chairs for all of the areas that we needed to touch base on. We've got a great group of committee chairs who are kind of taking their area of responsibility, and so we feel like we're on target. We'll actually be meeting with His Grace Bishop Nicholas next Tuesday. We have a meeting with him to go over the final draft of the schedule, the budget, all of the particulars, and get his blessing, make sure that we're ready to basically go live with public information, advertisement, and calls for people to register.
That's great. Well, we know how much work it is to put one of those Parish Life conferences on, and I know that you definitely have a great support staff in this church with many hardworking people that want to contribute, and that's a real blessing when you get to work with people in that way, and to put on these diocese events where people come from all over the diocese. And one thing Bryce and I experienced in Raleigh was just the universal church,
right,
all coming alive together.
Right.
I was wondering if you would just share with us, because this is not the first time that you've had to do a Parish Life conference, organize one, and I know you've attended many. What would you say are your favorite parts about Parish Life conferences? What do you look forward to the most?
You know, and I was struck by the one in Raleigh because I felt like that it really hit a really nice note in terms of a mix between spiritual teaching and edification, and as well as the business side, and which I even find those parts interesting, because I want to know what's going on in the diocese. But as well as just, it was a very relaxed conference where people found time to enjoy one another and to make new friends, meet old friends, meet with family over coffee and beer and wine, and there were just a lot of opportunities for people. I think at meetings like this, as much of the important part of what goes on in this meeting is as much outside the meeting as it is inside the meeting. And that's the fellowship of the people. And then if you've for anybody who's never been to one, to kind of witness the hierarchical liturgy where there are 40 priests communing together with the bishop, and hearing the music that comes together from all the best voices of 40 churches, it's really something to behold.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
so I'm looking forward to it. This year in particular, we're really pleased that we're going to have a guest speaker that I think everybody it's going to be a draw and everybody will be really excited about, and that's Father Stephen Friedman, who's well known around the globe for his podcast and his writings, and so we're very fortunate that Sedna has blessed, and that Father Stephen has it's worked with his calendar, and he's agreed to be here for our conference.
Excellent. So, Deacon, this summer was kind of the launching of the Antiochian men in our diocese, and we had a meeting earlier today kind of discussing the Antiochian men. So, where do you see that going forward, not just only in your own parish, but within the diocese as well?
I think, we have I would say that compared to a lot of churches in the diocese, we have a very active parish.
And we've seen that.
And that's very active at every level. And so we have had, I don't feel like we're starting from scratch with Amen, even though there was, we didn't have an organized Antiochian men, but we've had an active group of men who we've had men retreats, we've had, like we did this morning with the breakfast. We have a very engaged and active group of men. What I see Amen doing, and what you all are doing so well, is bringing kind of new tools and new avenues and new opportunities to our group. That's not just the strength that we have locally, but it allows us to take the opportunity to tune in to teachings and presentations and Bible studies virtually that we've not been able to do before. Personally, I logged into the first Zoom conference.
The virtual retreat.
The retreat Sunday night.
Yeah.
And Kevin and I are very good friends from long ago, and so when I got the notice, I thought, in fact, I just talked to him on the phone a couple days before, and he didn't say anything about it. He was doing that. so I did log on to that and was just so moved by the presentation, and really very thankful for the opportunity to be able for him to be in Springdale presenting that, but for me to, at that time, to be here, being able to be part of it with you all.
And that's one of the wonderful things about using technology. There were a lot of men that were able to log in live and ask questions in real time with Kevin Shearer, the speaker at the virtual retreat last week. But now we even just posted that video from that retreat today.
And it'll continue to get activity.
And even churches that maybe didn't have anyone log in, they could maybe have a fellowship event, gather at someone's house, have a men's meeting, maybe watch it together. It's something that you can refer to, and it's somebody from our diocese that we can get to know better and that we can learn from.
Yeah, there've been so many things over the years that we can think back on, and when it happens, say, I wish, maybe my wife wasn't able to make that. I wish anything she could have seen that or could have heard that. Right. And there's no way I can do it justice by trying to relate to her or to another friend or to somebody else in the church who wasn't able to be there. And so the more that we can capture what happens and be able to share that with others who are interested, I think is fabulous.
Wonderful. Well, Deacon Tim, we appreciate your time, and we are looking forward to being in Vespers with you this evening and with His Grace, Bishop Nicholas.
Absolutely.
And just want to thank you.
And did I understand you're going to go to Tupelo?
We're going from here. We're going to Tupelo.
So I'm going to Tupelo in the morning, so I'll be serving with the
Bishop
in Divine Liturgy tomorrow.
It's double the blessing. We get to go to two churches in the same weekend. We try to visit more than one church each time we do a trip to maximize our time showing everyone what the churches look like. And so when this video posts, we'll be able to kind of share your church's story and show what it looks like from the inside. It's not always possible for us to visit this many churches like Bryce and I are doing, so we want to try to help everyone feel more connected as a diocese. Right. And it's been a great blessing, so thank you.
Welcome to St. John. Glad you're here.
That's wonderful.
Thanks for all your work.
Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you, Bryce.
Oh, now and ever.